Hi, under pressure. I want to talk about carry weapons tonight. I want to talk about full size, compact, subcompact, some of the guns I have, and my everyday carry weapons. There's been a big call by some of the big online posters, Hickok 45, Nut and Fancy, about the sheepdog principle. They got a point. If we've went through all this trouble of getting concealed carry, the money, the time, it's a pain in the butt. If we've gone through all that and we're going to carry, we should carry, and we should be sheepdogs. We should watch after our fellow man. Some people say, oh, well, I don't feel like I have the right. It's called final protective fire. You're protecting somebody else's life, and by extension, your own. But that's the political side. I want to talk a little bit about the actual carry side. Some people carry a full-size weapon. Here's one, for example. This is a Glock 21. A Glock 21 45 ACP. It's a large weapon. I've carried this before, but even in the small of your back with your t-shirt over it, come on. It's like, Bob's your uncle. 45 ACP, though. I'll get into some of the ammunition that I carry, but this one I carry the 230 grain FMJ in, military ball. It's a Glock. It's a sewing machine. I mean, if you want a dependable, high capacity 45, you can't go wrong choosing a Glock. If you don't like the 1911s, which I'll talk about also. But great gun, inexpensive gun, for what you get. These are under $600. This is a Gen 4. I paid $548. Your mileage will vary. Very dependable gun. It's a Glock. If you want to carry full size, it's not a bad choice. Now, if you don't want to carry full size, which I don't, I just use that as an example. If you want to carry something else, then you can move to, that's right, it's another Glock product. This is a Glock 23C. Glock 23s are 40 cal. C means it's got a compensated barrel. See, some people call them the Venom cuts or the Viper cuts, or it's a compensated barrel. So part of the exhaust gas comes out of the top to keep it from you getting a lot of snapback. And I've got the fiber optic sight on it, and just like my full size Glock, it has the Navy symbol on it, which I think is a cool thing. If you're ex-military, that's a pretty cool little thing. Now the 40 cal, I carry 180 grain full metal jacket in this one also. That's what I carry in all my 40s. I also have another 40 I'll show you in just a second. Again, it's a high-speed bullet. It's a lot faster than 45, less mass. 230 grain, 180 grains. It's 20% smaller round. Now I also carry, this is a Galco paddle type holster. It's called a paddle because it has this part that fits in your pants. It sits outside your belt. So even though this is smaller than the full size, still this in the small of your back or around the back of your hip with your shirt pulled over, it's still, you can still see what you can sort of guess if you're looking. This is the H&K USP 40 compact. This is a variant 1 with the decocker and the semi, so you can carry it cocked and locked. This is a 10 round gun, 10 shots only. This the Glock is a 13, so you get 3 more rounds of the Glock. It's a little bit bigger though. Still in the same compact roll, and if you don't want to carry a full size, but you still want a 45, there's an offering that I've carried before. This is the Rock Island Rock Island Compact. This one has the beaver tail and the hollowed out trigger, hammer. Standard trigger though. It's the compact, so it's like the Colt Commander. 7-shot 45 ACP. That's a big bullet. Standard battle sights, just iron battle sights, not adjustable. I shoot all 1911s well. I think I just have so much muscle memory because this is what I learned on in the military, and I continue to shoot a lot of 1911 style weapons today. I shoot at 45s well. I shoot 1911s well. I understand the ballistics of the round. I understand the impulse, and maybe that's why I don't like 40s as much. The 40 impulse is a little bit harsher to me. The 45 is a nice steady push, but the guns itself, the 1911 design, is just so intuitive to me. You know, the safety coming on, the safety coming off, racking the slide, you know, dropping the slide with the slide lock. I just shoot all weapons this type well. That's an alternative, and these are inexpensive. When I bought this, it was $374, I think. Gone up slightly, not much. And which is not bad for a really dependable gun. These are every bit as good as Colt, and they shoot as well. They're made in the Philippines. I'm holding my breath. I might man up and either get an ATI Thunderbolt, sister company, which is a 3-inch barrel, so it's about like this. Let's see. SIG makes that super compact 45 that's close. Springfield makes a similar one. I think it's the EMP, I'm not sure. Colt makes one, it's the New Agent, I think. The real shorty one. Para makes one in the Night Hog and the Light Hog, and then they make a 9 Hog, which is a 9mm. All those are really thin, single stack designs. And they're even smaller than this. They're almost in the subcompact range. And they're full-size 45 ACP. So I might have to man up and get me one of those later on. The next one is the that I've carried is the Springfield XDS, or XD9S, I should say, or maybe it's SC. And this is their 3-inch subcompact, which again, that's what I was talking about with the ATI. Now, let's see, it'll be a 45, but that long. But this has got the 3-inch barrel, and it's their super subcompact. And I basically replaced my Glock 26 when I got this, because the Glock 26, even if I'm using the flat bottom mags, my pinky hangs off, and even if I'm using the finger rest, it's up like this. On this one, I can actually get my pinky all the way around, even though it's up on the finger rest, and get a good tight hold on it. So I shoot this weapon well also. Striker fired weapon. You know, I'm a big semi guy. I like seeing a hammer. Which is funny that I've got so many Glocks that don't have a hammer either. But this one shoots okay. It shoots good. As good as the Glock I had. But I get a better hold, so I enjoy shooting this more. But I'll probably shoot them about the same. Then the next one, and this is probably the lowest size, smallest round you can go. I want to hear it from posters on this one. This is probably the smallest round you can go and still have effective one-shot stopping power. And this is the Smith & Wesson Model 637, which is an airweight 38 Special Plus P Plus rated gun. It's only 5-shot, which is where you get the smaller, this narrower cylinder. You know, a lot of times a 6-shot, you know, they're bigger than even the full-size Glocks. Which, if you look, this one's almost as wide as a full-size Glock. You know, the width on the cylinder is its downfall. That's why, with all these new automatics, you know, revolvers are sort of falling by the wayside, and the higher capacity. But so this is a 5-shot, and I carry it with 5 extra rounds in a speed loader. So I have 10 rounds on me when I carry this one. And this one conceals okay. You know, you give me the old school down in your belt. You know, yes, it has an exposed hammer. Some people bob these. If you got a hammer, keep the hammer. If you want something else, get the 647 with the bodyguard, where it still has the rails exposed. You can still cock it, but it won't snag. I think these are 150 grain. And you can get different weights in that. Matter of fact, I have some Hornady Critical Defense 38s that I think are 142, I think. But that's about, as far as one shot, except for an exceptional, put it through his eye. But I mean, center of mass, one shot, knock them down, they're not getting back up. I think that's about as low as you can go. Definitely 45s, or the 40s and the 9s. 9s are almost as sketchy, but they've really got some kick-ass 9 rounds now that just really have some power behind them. And it's higher capacity, so even if the first shot doesn't stop them, you got so many rounds left over, you can definitely take them down. But I think from like 38 special up, that's about as low as you can go. Now, having said that, let's talk about some subcompacts. This one is not really a subcompact, but I would call it that. It's the Walther P22. It's a 22 long rifle. And the reason I'm showing this is because anybody that's a smaller stature, say a female or a male with weak wrists, you know how I complain about mine. But I mean, you can just about, you can just about lean on this thing and cycle the weapon, because it's designed that way. It's got the decocker with the safety on, but it's designed to be a light pull, smaller, double action, single action, 10 round, 22. It's a good weapon for somebody that doesn't want to practice, because it has such low recoil. It's a great weapon for somebody with a handicap that doesn't have the hand strength, or someone that's of smaller stature. It's an easier weapon to operate. It's an easy weapon to shoot with the recoil almost non-existent. So I sort of throw that in there, even though it's not small. It's basically the same size as the 22. I mean the 9mm. But it's a nice alternative. Then we have some other ones, such as the SIG P238. This is a 380, 6-shot with the flat bottom clip, 7-shot with the finger pinky extension magazine. I shoot this weapon well. I haven't carried it because I haven't owned it long, and I hadn't had enough practice on it. But these things are basically copies, scaled down copies of the 1911, which I shoot also. All the weapons controls and functions are exactly the same. The weapon is loaded, broken down, cleaned. It's basically a mini-me 45. So I shoot this well. It's a 380. 380s are usually pretty snappy. My wife has a bodyguard. I don't like it. I don't like some of the Kel-Tecs, because at 380 with those nice square grips they have, it tends to want to walk about in my hand. This one I like because it has the Hogue palm swells on it, which comes with this model. This is called the SIG P238 Desert. But anyway, it's got the finger ridges, it's got the palm swells, so it fills my hand. So I shoot it well, which, as a matter of fact, if you'll notice on my 45 ACP Rock Island, guess what's on there? It's a Hogue. So I get that same kind of grip with this weapon also. So I like this one. 380, snappy. But it's heavy. That's another reason I had to start carrying it. Even though this is alloy, it's not plastic. This thing's heavy. It actually weighs more than the bigger P22. And then I'm going to show you my carry weapon. This is what I carry 100% of the time. Actually, that's not true. I carry it in my car. I carry it into work, or I carry another weapon into work with me and leave this in the car. But sometimes I'm going to the mall or a movie. I don't grab it and put it in my pocket, and I should. That's one of the things that I was talking about earlier that Nothing Fancy and Hickok 45 talked about is, you went through the trouble, you need to carry the damn gun. If you're not going to save your own life, or somebody else's life, maybe you'll save your own or your family's or something, But this is my Kel-Tec P32, 32 ACP. Yeah, it's a 32 ACP, okay? But it's no recoil. It's like shooting a staple gun. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk. So if a lot of people think about this. If you have to draw your weapon and discharge it in your car, you know, a 45 going off in your car can disorient you. Your follow-up shots are all over the place. The muzzle blast and just the ejecta of it. It's like setting off a grenade in the car. Guess what? With this one, because it's a 32 ACP, it's a low recoil. It's a smaller round. And I'll get to some ammunition in a second, but it's a smaller round, less recoil. I shoot this weapon very well. It's light. This gun is like 7 ounces, like loaded. I mean, you're looking for where the roll of caps goes into it. I mean, that's how light this thing is. And even though it's got that square grip like the Kel-Tec 380s and stuff, that I don't like on those, I don't get the walkabout because I don't get the recoil. This gun stays in my hand. It doesn't move. There's another video on my channel where we're at the range and we had a steel target set up, man-sized silhouette. I don't know, it was like 45, 50 feet. We were shooting it with some of the compacts and the full sizes. And I just stepped up and just every round, center mass, bang, bang, bang. And if I hit you 7 times with, you know, what I keep loaded in here, and you don't go down, oh my God. Because I can put this whole magazine into you pretty dang quick. Because there's no recoil. It's just like click, 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 click. It's a staple gun. And I have the side-mounted laser light side laser on it, which is a great addition if you're in the house, or you can train yourself to close range, use that laser only. And that's another thing we should be practicing concealed carry, is you present the weapon, and then you're not going to go like this. You know, you're not going to assume the target stance you do at the target range. You're going to present the weapon, and you're going to keep it in a protected stance. You're going to, present the weapon, keep it in a protected stance, in case you have to engage immediately. If the guy's coming at you, if you got it out like this, he could swat at it, and usually if you have to pull your gun, it's going to be in a close combat situation anyway. 7 feet or less, isn't that what they say in the training? 7 feet or less. So if you present your weapon, and you can get that gun, especially if you shoot something one-handed, you can actually hold your attacker off and still have a functioning weapon. You can pull the gun and keep it close, which, again, 32 ACP, that's why I like this weapon. It does that well. And I can do it with this weapon also. I can do that well. Not really with the 380s. I get too much snack on it. And then the compacts, no. But I probably could do it with a 1911 45 just because I'm just so familiar with the weapon and the characteristics from the round discharges. But this one, it's light. I mean, here's the weapons wallet I carry in. I put that in my pocket. You can't tell it's in there. I have literally walked around all day with this thing in my pocket. Made sure that the places, of course, you could carry, Cracker Barrel, Walmart. I carried that around all day. You would not know it's in my pocket. And I can clear the weapon pretty quick. And now I will say this, and I'm probably going to get flack over it. I do carry in condition 3, except for the revolver. Of course, you can't carry in condition 3 in a revolver. But that means there's no round in the chamber. The gun is not in ready-to-fire mode. Now, what I've been doing, and I know, why are you going to carry concealed? Again, I go back to the military training. We didn't carry, normally, with a round in the chamber. We normally did not carry with a round in the chamber. Normally, we walked around with the gun in condition 3. So I learned early on in the military how to draw and, cock the weapon. And it's something I practice. Just like that, that's all Rambo and shit, I know. But, that's a personal choice. Now, with the revolver, of course, it is cocked and locked. I mean, it's double action, so if you yank on that trigger and this thing's got a full cylinder, it's going to go off. So people that play in their pockets, that tend to finger, whatever they got in their pockets, should not carry a revolver, because they may shoot themselves. That would be bad. I can even draw this one and cycle the weapon fairly quickly. So that's my thoughts. Now let's talk about ammunition. I can't recommend enough that you go out and get something like this. The Hornady Critical Defense. These are super expensive, but they're super expanding. This one is the 380. Using these 380, these are plus. I don't know if they're plus B plus, but they're plus. But using these 380s at close range, you're getting effectively a 9mm. It's the same size, but more power in the 9 because the cartridge is longer. But the way these expand, the way these penetrate and expand, you're getting short range, effectively the same kind of stocking power. These are great. They're $20-25 a box of 25, so $1 a shot. But you need to get them in practice with them so you know how your gun cycles and operates. Some guns don't like them. Some guns only like FMJs, which I'll get into. But here's the 380, here's the 9mm, here's the 32, 38. So I do have the defensive ammo that you're supposed to carry in these, and you should practice with them. But you should practice a lot. Anyway, you should be intimately familiar with these guns. Plus, it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I carry the 32, and I carry the Hornady Critical Defense in it. They also make the zombie loads. I think these are the 9mm, or the 40s. That's the 9. But anyway, same thing. It's a cute green box and it says zombie on it, but it's like the same thing. I think these are a little cheaper, like $1 or so. But let's talk about something else. In my military-style weapons, full size and compact, which I would say the 1911, any Glock, and the Smith & Wesson that I carry FMJ. What? Yes, FMJ over-penetrates. FMJ cycles every time. That's why if you use these, you need to make sure, so I can wave at the camera. If you buy those, you need to make sure you shoot enough through your weapon that it cycles it reliably, just like FMJ. FMJ, which is what the military uses, with its nice round nose, it feeds right in there, and you usually don't have a problem. You can with some of the more sharper uglids that you get, like say a cone or a hollow point, some of the semi-jacketable hollow points. So every 45 I carry, I shoot 230 grain FMJ, which is, I think, let's see, yeah, it's just Remington standard off the shelf 230 grain FMJ. In my 40s, I shoot 180 grain FMJ. That's American, but I think I got some other ones in there too. In my, well, that's my practice ammo for my 38. It's 150 grain solid points. My 380, I practice all my 380s in jacket and hollow point, because this actually feeds in all the 380s. It's not much of a hollow point. I mean, it's like a pinhead. But also have some standard rounds. In my 32, jacket and hollow points. But actually, I practice with these FMJ 72 grain FMJ, 73 grain FMJ, because they're cheap, $10 a box. Fiocchi, aimsurplus.com. Can't beat $10 a box. I don't have to reload. $10 a box. I reload everything else, but I haven't started reloading because I can still get this for like cheap. But so that's all what I can normally carry. It's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if I showed you my HK USP compact. This is 10-shot, but I get a better hold than I do with the Glock, even though it's a much larger capacity, 13. This is 10, but I get a good hold with it, and so I shoot it pretty good. I just got this, and so I'm still getting used to it. But again, and it fits the same as the same holster as that I bought for the Glock 23, so it's, but I'm still getting used to carrying this. So I've only carried that once. But 99 or let's say 92% of the time. 92% of the time, this is in my pocket, which is my Kel-Tec. And that's all I got to say. Hopefully this is not a rambling, crazy thing. It's just something that when, especially Nothing Fancy had his big reaction to the shootings, you know, what he talked about, and yeah, you know, in a perfect world, somebody would have been there to stop it. Somebody would have had a concealed carry or an off-duty police officer. I don't know. All we can do is hope it doesn't happen again. This is Under Pressure signing off. Have a good night.